The most fundamental tasks of adventuring, noticing danger, finding hidden objects, hitting an enemy in combat, and targeting a spell, just to name a few, rely heavily on a character's ability to see. On today's D&D Academy, we're covering some of the most forgotten rules in Dungeons & Dragons: vision and light. Welcome back to D&D Academy. My name is Paul, and I'm the Dungeon Master here at House of Crit. While adventuring, characters often find themselves in environments that have varying degrees of visibility. More often than not, the caves and dungeons that heroes often find themselves in are not well lit, and thus create interesting encounters for dungeon masters to present as challenges for their players. The presence or absence of light in an environment creates three categories of illumination: bright light, dim light, and darkness. These three categories of light, as well as additional environmental factors, create situations for characters that can be lightly or heavily obscured. Areas in bright light let most creatures see normally. Even gloomy days provide bright light, as do torches, lanterns, fires, and other sources of illumination within a specific radius. Dim light, also called shadows, creates a lightly obscured area. An area of dim light is usually a boundary between a source of bright light, such as a torch, and the surrounding darkness. The soft light of twilight and dawn also counts as dim light. A particularly brilliant full moon might bathe the land in dim light as well. Finally, darkness creates a heavily obscured area. Characters face darkness outdoors at night, even on most moonlit nights, as well as within the confines of an unlit dungeon or a subterranean vault, or in an area of magical darkness. As I mentioned earlier, these categories of lighting can create obscured areas. A given area might be lightly or heavily obscured. In a lightly obscured area, such as dim light, patchy fog, rain, snow, or moderate foliage, creatures have disadvantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. On the other hand, a heavily obscured area, such as darkness, opaque fog, driving snow or heavy rain, or even dense foliage, blocks vision entirely. A heavily obscured area does not blind you, meaning you do not suffer the blinded condition, but you are effectively blinded when you try to see something obscured by it. Now, some creatures in D&D have more than just regular vision that they can use to see. The most common of these is dark vision. Within a specified range, a creature with dark vision can see in darkness as if the darkness were dim light, so areas of darkness are only lightly obscured as far as that creature is concerned, and therefore still have disadvantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. However, the creature cannot discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. Some creatures have a type of dark vision that only lets them see in shades of red instead of gray, but it functions the exact same way. There are two other types of vision as well: blind sight and true sight. A creature with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius. Creatures without eyes, such as oozes, and creatures with echolocation or heightened senses, such as bats and true dragons, also have this sense. Alternatively, a creature with true sight can, out to a specific range, see in normal and magical darkness, see invisible creatures and objects, automatically detect visual illusions and succeed on saving throws against them, and perceives the original form of a shape changer or a creature that is transformed by magic. Furthermore, a creature with true sight can even see into the ethereal plane, the realm of incorporeal beings, such as ghosts. And that covers light and vision in Dungeons & Dragons. Thank you so much for joining me today down in the dungeon, and if this video and the others in this series have helped you, please consider giving us a thumbs up below and possibly subscribing to the channel. If there are any future topics you would like for us to cover, or want to let us know how we're doing, please drop us a comment down below. We read every one of them and appreciate every bit of feedback we get. I'll be back next week with another D&D Academy video, so I'll see you all here soon.